name's Chris Mahone. I live here in Lebanon. For those of you, another graphic on $1 trillion, we did the math. It's, if you took a stack of very crisp, brand new $1,000 bills, and you stack them up on top of each other, it's 54 miles high of $1,000 bills. The other thing, a little announcement on the UN Small Arms Treaty. Please call your senators and voice your opinion against it and tell your senators not to vote to ratify it. Don't assume that it will not get ratified. Now my two questions are pretty short. First one is, in your opinion, does a strong defense include forward deployed forces? In other words, forces in Germany, Korea, and the other 100 and some countries we have forces deployed in the world. And the other question is, Sheriff Joe Arapahoe from Arizona has done some extensive research into Obama's birth certificate, and it appears to be it's a fake. If it is actually a fake, what happens? Does the guy, do we get him out of office? I mean, what's the pursuit? Nobody's really following this, but it certainly looks like it's a fake if you look at his evidence.
Deport him. Send him back.
Okay, did everybody understand those questions? One is about forward deployment of troops, the other is about Sheriff Arpaio, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess
the
since I
fake
got
birth
the hand-
certificate.
I guess since I got the mic in hand, I gotta go first. On the birth certificate, just like Vicki Hartzler said, produce it or step down. I have to agree with her on that one. And on the forward deployment, I'll have to say that I don't believe we need them in 176 countries. I would prefer fighting the wars over there instead of the United States. I believe that we need to defend the United States to the ultimate max. Our citizens deserve it. We deserve it. That's why I serve. Does that answer your question?
I guess a follow-up question to that would be so when are we going to start finding constitutionally declared war? In other words, where Congress declared war instead of police action. In other words, the president says, let's go fight these guys, which has been happening in all the current wars, and not once has Congress voted. I'm against that. Are you?
Congress induced, supported one, but I can't remember which one. But the rest of them have been signed off by the president.
The last declared war was World War II.
That's right. Amen.
That's the only war.
That's right, they're all been operations. You're correct. I stand corrected. I apologize. You're right. I'll let him answer that one, but I believe that it needs to go through Congress.
Yeah, let's try and take a shot. First off, the requirement that the president produce a birth certificate, he's produced something. A number of people have challenged that, and they've done it the right way. That's to go through the court system, and it should go to the Supreme Court for them to take a good look at it. That's the way the system of government should work. And being somebody that people in Missouri have elected, I believe that when I take an oath to uphold the Constitution, I'm supposed to do it that way. Okay? So that's the way the system works, and that probably should have been done, at least fairly even when the election process started, if there was questions about it. I do think some of those lawsuits started early, and I don't know where the status of all of them are. From a practical point of view, I'm still saying the solution right now is make sure he isn't re-elected president.
Amen.
Okay. Second thing about forward deployed troops. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I've served 12 years on it now and had a chance to get around and visit a lot of those places. And part of the Armed Services Committee does deal with international relations. And as you can imagine, you do something for a while and you learn a bunch of stuff, things that I didn't know coming into Congress. There's a lot of stuff we learn every day. And the reason for the forward deployed troops is so that in case something goes very bad somewhere, we have a very rapid response time to try to deal with it. If you think of the logistics of, let's say, something goes wrong somewhere on the other side of the world, for us to load up the food and supplies and generators and arms and people and try to get them over there in a hurry is practically speaking impossible depending on what some of the scenarios are. So the purpose of the forward deployed troops is that when something nasty goes on, we fight it at arm's length. We give ourselves time to respond, and it's not being fought on our soil. So that's the logic of that. The logic has been pretty much tested over history. Every time that we start getting weak and pull back, it seems like we have instability and more wars when we do it. When America's strong, it keeps a more stable world. Now, people could ask, and this is a good question and there's a logical answer to it, how come America has nuclear-powered aircraft carriers? None of our other allies have any of those things. Why in the world do we have to pay for those, you know? And the answer is this, and it's kind of interesting. If you look at a globe, the people who do planning and understanding tactical situations or strategic situations will point out that America, in a way, is an island. Now, it's hard to sell that to a guy from Missouri if we're an island. If you think about it, most of our trade is either with Europe or all the way around in the Pacific Rim. And many, many things that we use or consume come by shipping lanes from those other trading partners. And so it's been, this is a hard one to do in 2 minutes, so it's been, over time we found that it's necessary for us to have the Navy to protect those shipping lanes, and by doing that, it makes the world a more prosperous and a safer place. I could go on a little bit further about it, but that's the logic of it. And I understand people say, well, let's bring them all home. But we also saw by September 11th that the defense can't just start at our shoreline. It has to start pre-positioned. So that's it. And that's a different point between a couple